And upon entering the tower, you'll board into one of their 2 glass elevators, both of which will take you to the top, and at the observation tower level, this is what you'll see. Now, this is the city's 3rd and final surviving observation deck and a vantage point that has witnessed Vancouver's skyline evolve dramatically over nearly 50 years since it opened. Now, first off, the lookout is air-conditioned, which is very rare in the city of Vancouver for building code, and especially if you're visiting in the summer, they have free Wi-Fi and a great lounge to kick back and take in the scenery at your pace. From Gastown and the downtown east side, this was once occupied by the Canadian Pacific freight yards, to now completely engulfed shoulder to shoulder with high-rise apartments. And to the west in False Creek, once was home to loads of industry, a sawmill and logging, which is pretty much completely unrecognizable today. Or Cole Harbour and the waterfront, which was once the western hub for dozens of Canadian Pacific steamships and passenger trains, now taken over by skyscraping towers, and the Vancouver seawall that runs around Stanley Park. Or the Marine Building, which was the city's first observation tower in town that opened in 1930, once dominant in the skyline, but today is almost completely covered. And call me Captain Obvious, because obviously things have changed a lot over the years, but this is still the best wallpaper anywhere in town, with a 360-degree perspective of the entire city. From right here on the Vancouver waterfront, or to the north across the Burrard Inlet and the peaks of the North Shore Mountains in North Vancouver, or the container port of Vancouver that moved almost 3.5 million sea cans last year alone. To the west, you'll see the Lions Gate Bridge, which was the first bridge to connect Vancouver to the North Shore when it opened in 1938, and is named after those same Lions peaks I just mentioned, and that are said to watch over the entire city, hence the bridge being named the gateway to the Lions on the other side, and also why the BC Lions CFL football team is named the Lions. Now, speaking of, the BC Lions play at BC Place, which is easily the most recognizable icon from up here. It was also the first structure built on the old Canadian Pacific False Creek freight yards in 1980. Now today, its iconic roof turns into a giant lantern at night. It's pretty cool, and especially when they end up opening up the roof for concerts. And on clear days, just to the left of it, you can actually see the glacier-capped Mount Baker over 140 kilometers away in Washington State. A few other cool landmarks that I like include the Ironworkers Memorial Bridge, which was named in honor of the 19 men that died during the bridge's collapse in 1958. And I could go on and on, whether it's my favorite building in the city, Vancouver's Railway Hotel, the Hotel Vancouver, being only visible right there by the top by its chimneys sticking up above. Or even the cargo ships and tankers parked off in English Bay in the background. The Dominion Building, which was the city's first skyscraper in 1909, or the Sun Tower, which surpassed it 3 years later in 1912. And how could I forget about the world-famous Gastown steam clock, which is a bit buried behind the trees right here, but super easy to identify by the crowd of tourists around it, and you can even hear its chimes from up here in the lookout behind the glass. There is truly so much to see up here, and it will keep you busy for hours, and at only $20 a ticket, it may actually be one of the best deals in town.